Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what side of the world you are joining us from. My name is Mick Allen, and today I will talk with my good friend Guy Strebos from the Netherlands, and we will address a topic that's probably on many people's mind as a central topic, but obviously we can talk about other things. If you have comments, do put them in the comment thread, and we'll try and keep them and we'll try and bring them into the conversation. Guy, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mick. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's Friday, it's sunny, and it's not too warm.
Good. A bit cloudy
And,
here, but it's okay.
and I am looking forward to creating a video for an organization with my drone equipment.
That's good. That's good.
So it's
So,
exciting.
what are we going to talk about today, Mick?
Well, I think there's a couple of things we can talk about. One is obviously the thing that's been dragging on over the last week about AI slop. We'll maybe briefly touch on that. But the core of our subject today is collaborative articles, or posts, not articles. You
Mm.
tricked me.
Same to me, Mick, because when I first saw the name, I thought, well, hang on, collaborative articles, we already have that. But as far as I know now, I haven't got the feature yet. Uh, it's actually two very, very different features. And my,
Uh,
my first reaction was well quite positive, but the more examples I see, Mick, and the more I read about how it actually works, well, the more questions I have. And I just published the post, the text post only, with all of my questions. So
oh,
we will go through some
yeah.
of them,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to find out more.
Yeah, the thing is, I had the pleasure this week of going through the different steps together with Marjolein Cohen to create a collaborative post. And yes, I have my thoughts about that too. So we will probably be a little more critical than usual.
Mm. But first, maybe the difference between collaborative articles and collaborative post, Mick. Because,
Yep.
well, articles have been around for a few years. LinkedIn uses AI to
Yep.
create, well, the starting content, and then LinkedIn invites selected experts to contribute with their knowledge. While posts is not AI generated,
Nope.
it's created by a human,
Yep.
and he, she, the person can invite up to five collaborators.
Yeah. Well, as you said, the collaborative post was actually a means for LinkedIn to train its AI system to a certain degree. And so they generated the content, and we as members kind of contributed our wisdom. I think LinkedIn stopped that practice, by the way, because of the fact that the answers that were given to the collaborative article actually came out of AI too. So
Mhm.
it was like AI feeding AI, which is kind of like missing the point.
Yeah, and well, it's different also with tagging someone, because if someone accepts the article, or sorry, the post also becomes visible on their profile, right?
Well, yeah, but maybe we need to take a step back and say, how does this actually work? And I
Mm.
think there is already a first um, challenge or issue that I've seen is that when you are going to create a collaborative post, the collaboration about the post actually happens before the post makes its way onto LinkedIn and you're invited as a person to collaborate. So once the post is written, then you're basically start. That's the way it is. The only person who can modify is actually the person who posts it. So I think what needs to happen if you're going to do a collaborative post is actually write collaboratively before you actually put it into a post format, which is kind of like a bit of a, what they call, deception or a
Mhm. Yeah,
disappointment for
yeah.
me.
So, Mick, if I write a post, I control the content, and I'm the only person that can edit it because I think that's the way it is.
Yep.
Do we actually create that post together?
Well, that was just the thing, because I thought when I was invited by Marjolein that I could go in and actually edit and the post, to find out that that wasn't possible. So the conclusion was collaboration happens before any of the people that you're going to collaborate posts this on the platform, and you're not invited to collaborate. You've already done it.
So accepting an invitation, does it really make you a co-author?
Well, the answer could be yes, but what happens is the post is posted on the activity feed of the collaborators. So I have an extra post in my weekly content calendar now because Marjolein, and I accepted, invited me to collaborate on that post. But I have no value added to the post other than maybe I added a comment later on.
So maybe co-author isn't the right description.
Well, that's probably what it is. The collaborative article, like I said, the collaboration happens before, and that is really, really the unclear factor in the whole concept, I think.
Yeah. So perhaps it's more about shared visibility or shared publishing or shared distribution.
Well, the premise is that it shows as a post that I have jointly written, so it gets more visibility through the fact that it is it's seen as a native post, as opposed to a repost or
co-creation. Where's the co-creation, Mick? Is it
no.
offline beforehand? You discuss by phone. Well, we're going to write this Google Workspace or any other platform where you can collaborate together, and then after the post, in this case, is finished, you publish.
One person posts and actually adds all the other people the 5 people that collaborated on creating that post.
Well, we're also talking about additional reach, Mick, and I found this interesting in Lanier Johnson's article that she couldn't find any evidence of extra algorithmic reach. So I think she concluded with collaborative posts generated good engagement, but not increased reach.
Well, the thing is, I think there is a bit of a challenge here. Is that when I post, or when I got my collaborative post in my timeline and it was being distributed, I saw the reach of that collaborative post in my network, which was way higher than what Marjolein saw on her feed. She saw the reach of her network. I saw the reach of my network. So what you then have to do is you have to go into the statistics and look at the discovery element. And I think there, Marjolein will have seen a higher discovery rate, but not from her own reach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's hard to, again, it's like with the repost of a post, it's hard to say how much reach you actually are getting. And I think LinkedIn has to come to grips with how these statistics are presented.
Say that again, Mick.
Well, the way that it's LinkedIn will have to look at how they are going to present the reach statistics, maybe differently or combined or whatever, because now I don't think it's an actual reflection of the total reach for any of us.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, what I did like is that when the author, when the original poster, who is the only one who can edit, makes those edits, they are also applied to the post that shows up in my activity. Now there's a danger in there too that if I don't like that update, I'm basically screwed because Marjolein was in this case the author, and she could have added anything to the post that I didn't like, and I couldn't change it.
And what about company pages, Mick? Do you think there is more potential for collaborative posts for LinkedIn company pages?
I think there will be, in the sense that if what it will do, it will make much more sense to co-create, because if you as a user, as a member, really you are creating with the company page, there is more of a human aspect. They come close to what I would call thought leadership posts. They're not the same, let me be clear. I didn't say that, but they come, in my opinion, close to what thought leadership posts are, if they are co-created with the company page. I have no experience at this point. I really, I've only placed that we changed, or that worked, was when I worked together with Marjolein. So
yeah,
it's a bit of a slippery slope for me.
Yeah, and I'm not convinced if we talk or use the word employee advocacy, that that company page plus employees is the same as employee advocacy.
Yeah, I think Linaire raises a great point. The whole thing requires a high degree of trust, and that's probably translating it into good English, what I've been dancing around. But you have to trust each other very much to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The other thing is, this might also be an alternative for example, people who today get away with brand partnership posts without notifying the rest of the world that is brand partnership. If they do a collaborative post, it's never going to be a brand partnership post, I think.
Yeah. So the main thing when you focus or dive deep into the word collaboration, it's all done beforehand, before publication.
There's a flow before. Indeed, there must be a flow in place before you actually throw the post on LinkedIn, and it's a nice way. It's an interesting way, but I think the fact that you can't edit as a co-author or a collaborator, that's really a big weakness in the whole scheme of things. Another nice advantage is that all the comments are visible for all the people who collaborate. So that's kind of a neat thing.
Say that again, please.
So if the post was posted by Linaire and whatever, or by Marjolein, what happens is I will see all the comments that post gets. So the comments are combined into one comment thread.
Yeah. So when you talk about analytics, collaborators can see the reaction, comments, shares.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in that matter, for example, if you want to share a link in your post, you can put it in the comments. It will travel with the comments.
I'm not sure where, because I've read quite a few articles in the past days. For company pages, it has some limitations, I think. So page admins, they cannot get the same engagement metrics as individual collaborators.
Yeah, I assume that seeing that the statistics are a bit different on a company page, you'll get different, you get different metrics that there would be there. But yeah, but at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of buzz around it, but I think we haven't all discovered the fact that there needs to be a flow in place. We don't know, that there hasn't been any talk of limitations. I kind of hope that this is still work in progress.
And you mentioned the word trust, Mick, because and that's important, because the original author, can edit the post afterwards, right?
Yep.
But you're still attached to the post as a collaborator.
Yep.
So in that case, trust is important as well. Huh?
Yeah, and the thing is, I cannot delete that post.
You can remove yourself as a co-author, right?
You can remove yourself as a co-author, yeah, as a collaborator, but you cannot delete the post from your feed unless if you remove yourself as a co-author. I guess you'll.
Perhaps a question to because you've tested and Linaire also.
Yep.
Do you think LinkedIn should notify collaborators every time the original creator edits the post?
I don't think it does.
Because, well, that to me would be a logical improvement then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I got any notification about changes or I know the changes happened, but I was looking at the post, I was updating the post, but I didn't get, as far as I know, a notification that Marjolein changed the text or added something to the text.
Well, what about spam, Mick? Are we going to get like collaboration spam invitations that
yes,
that you are invited to be a co-author or collaborator? Yeah. We all know that. Please like my post, leave a comment, things like that.
Well,
is that the next step? Can you?
Yeah, I mean, but the next step is really the following: is I will write a so-called collaborative post. I'll talk to a couple of people. I'll invite them to collaborate, and that post will start living in their home feed. Now, if I choose the so-called influencers with 100, 200,000 followers, you know what that could do to my post.
Yeah.
And vice versa, by the way. I think big time collaborators can get together and write that so-called collaborative post and share it in their own network. It's a different way of sharing somebody's post, which you might have worked on together in their home feed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I really like collaborators to have more tools. If we really talk about collaborative posts.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Marjolein says that she didn't get a notification either. So I guess if she made a modification, she knew she made a modification. But on the other hand, there was no way that it said this post has been modified or edited.
So let's take the other side, Mick, the point of view from LinkedIn. Why do you think they created this feature or developed this feature?
Well, I think there is a genuine market and need for people to collaborate on content.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love to write an article with you for LinkedIn that we can both stand behind as content creators. So that market.
We know each other for years. We build up a friendship. There's trust. So there's no issue in writing something, whatever, on LinkedIn together. So there's the part of trust as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there are people out there, and there's probably a lot, and definitely with company pages, I see that happening, is that they want to create more content together, but as a team. So I think that's why LinkedIn is introducing this feature. There is definitely room for that. I can see where that comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, if for example, I don't know, let's think back about Uplift Live. Mm-hmm. You have John, Jeremy, and Gus who kind of like organized this whole thing. If they collaborated on every post about Uplift Live and shared it that way, they would probably get even more reach than what they got today.
Instead of publishing separate posts individually and tag perhaps the others.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I see the potential. I'm still a little bit confused about the word collaborative. and the difference between posting and tagging, reposting, or I need some more tools. I see the potential, absolutely.
I think LinkedIn is kind of like confusing us more and more, because there is already the repost without any comments. Then there is the repost with dots. And now you've got this collaborative post, which are kind of into each other's path and can be very confusing to members.
Yeah, it's the same a bit with seems like AI slop. I'm confused with the words seems like. I mean, it's not a button where you indicate this is AI slop. It seems, and there's this thin line between. I can't get to it with my head, Mick, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the problem with or the challenge LinkedIn has is that you, me, and everybody else on LinkedIn have a different opinion of what AI slop really is. The definition is so hard that it is impossible to, in my opinion, to put that in some kind of an algorithm, because what to you sounds like AI slop is, or slop in general, isn't the same as what I see.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I posted 2 days ago. I've been wondering about this issue about LinkedIn keeping introducing new developments, new features, but there's not one single broadcasting of. There's a lot of LinkedIn answers, LinkedIn help, company news. And then the LinkedIn press articles aren't updated for a very long time.
Yep.
I've seen some channels that haven't been posting since 2024 or 2025.
Yep.
And then you have these individuals, Dan Shapiro, individual leaders, senior directors.
I actually got into a big discussion with somebody this week about the fact that there is, who's actually a spokesperson for LinkedIn.
There are a lot of silos within LinkedIn, Mick.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, going back to the seems like AI slop, I mean, there are different people talking about this, and they are saying a lot of the same stuff, but they're also contradicting each other. And then the question becomes, who do you believe? Who's the actual spokesperson? And I think that's a big challenge LinkedIn has, is to streamline something like, I'm speaking in the name of LinkedIn, because is Sam the spokesperson about this? He's into video making and he works at LinkedIn, but is he the spokesperson to talk about seems like AI slop? Yep. I don't know. Or is it Dan Shapiro as CEO who has his own definition, or is it Hari who wrote the post about AI slop? And then there's other people within LinkedIn, so it becomes really, really confusing about who is saying those things. I actually took those three people, their content posts, and I compared them to each other, and I found that there's a lot of, or not a lot, there's a number of areas where they really differ in their explanation, especially around the fact.
Well, Mick, that isn't that bad. I mean, I can understand that a CFO talks from the perspective of finance. A business developer talks about a different aspect. So I can understand the various ways they explain new developments within the company. But sometimes I long for the good old days with Clubhouse, the Sundays. I'm not sure what the name was, where the founders just opened a chat and discussed about new developments, like we do every week on Friday. They could have the same, perhaps.
the only the challenge there is, again, if they would do this, they probably be inundated by good or less good questions and content and contributions. But I mean, it has to be managed on a close scale, not too much orchestrated, like ours isn't orchestrated. So that is a challenge, and I understand for them it's not very simple.
No, and it's impossible to host an event with 1.3 billion attendees.
Is it 1.3? Is it 1.4? Or is it 1.5? Because that's the number that shows up in the advertising module.
Then again, Mick, one platform, 3 different numbers.
At least 3 different numbers.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny, though. You're absolutely right. There should be like one point of entry for anything to do with new features and functions.
Well, it's a clever strategy, Mick, to leave it up to the members and to discuss about new features. I mean, there's much more buzz and noise and whatever with all of these people talking about it than just one channel or one spokesperson.
It's funny because I commented on a post this week saying that this seems like AI Slop is a marketer's wet dream of organic distribution.
Mm-hmm.
Because the number of posts that I have seen and that are going around about, LinkedIn, just drop this new functionality. I mean, it probably is touching everybody on the platform, at least those that are active.
Yeah.
And I mean, no marketer could ever dream of coming up with a campaign with the credibility of the people on the platform to announce this. But I agree, there should be like one central point. I think the other question that I have, and that's for the longer term on LinkedIn, is that as new functions get introduced, we have these infamous 5 waves. But this really means that you, I, and everybody else has a different version of LinkedIn on when they go to the platform, because you will have certain things, like Marjolein has the collaborative articles, you and I don't. But there are so many different versions that I would argue it's becoming unrealistic for LinkedIn to support this these days.
Mm-hmm.
And it reduces the quality, I think, also in the long run of their customer support, because you send in a request and you get the 7 emails that says reset your computer, go to another browser, do this, do that, which is they need to make you work before your question even gets a little bit of attention, because they have no clue what you're looking at.
True. Yeah.
And that in itself is also a challenge. So I'm going to plead to LinkedIn to stop announcing and introducing new features for 90 days and upgrade everybody to the most current version of every feature.
What do you think will happen?
I don't know, but at least there would be one user interface instead of 1.4 billion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I understand there's going to be a process to roll out features, but
Sure.
Now the gap is so big that, I mean, if you do training like I do on LinkedIn, it's basically you end up in a room with 10, 15 people all looking at a different version of LinkedIn, let alone that the language versions actually fall at the same speed.
Yeah, yesterday I had a call with a client, and his screen was different than mine. So explaining where to look at, the button to add it was different, for example.
Yep, exactly my point. And I think what LinkedIn really needs to do is to roll all the features and functions they've introduced over the last year up to the same level, instead of actually widening the gap, everything new gets rolled out. The same was true with the seems like AI slope. That's been rolled out very fast. That it's now the case for the collaborative articles, and there's other features and functions that are behind it.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what will happen in Europe. Well, we've seen that growth has stopped in the UK and France, and well, the UK now 47 million members, and France 38. But the German-speaking countries, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, also grew a million every quarter. So they're now at 32 million. So if France would stop completely in half a year, German-speaking countries would be bigger than France. And we all know that the culture in German-speaking countries is again different than from French-speaking countries. So the development of LinkedIn itself is changing also.
Right, it is. It definitely is, and we can be glad about that. So because we have a topic to talk about every week.
Yeah, no, for sure, Mick, and we will continue doing this because well, it's in 9:30, 9:31 again.
Yep.
So we will continue next week in Dutch, and then the week after again in English. So I'm really interested in seeing some replies on the collaborative posts and all the questions we've raised today and before and well tomorrow. What will happen with this new feature?
True, and like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how it's all rolled out to everybody and the speed that is being rolled out, and how it's going to be used with company pages, because I think that will be the interesting one.
Yeah, because we've talked a lot about personal collaborative posts, but not a lot about company, and I think it shows differently also with company pages. So I'm really looking forward to learn more about collaborative posts for company pages.
Same here. All right, everybody. Thank you for pitching in, Marjolein, Roy, and Linaire, of course. Let's continue to have this conversation, and we'll speak to you or with you in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye-bye.